Is Homelander actually not the most powerful supe in the boys universe? People have theorized this a lot, but I've asked myself these questions. What happens if Victoria Newman put herself somewhere where Homelander couldn't find her, but she could see Homelander in sight and tried her hardest to pop his head? Could she do it? We haven't really seen her try, have we? Has there never been a Homelander clone created like there was in the comics? Is Butcher at the level where he was able to casually tear apart Victoria Newman, who's very powerful in her own right? Could he be someone who is growing in his powers and could be stronger than Homelander? Or is it someone else entirely? Someone that we may not expect? The reason why I put Homelander over most supes is because of his versatility, the variety of powers that he does. A lot of them are durable. A lot of supes are durable right out the gate and have some kind of strength. Either some of them have speed or light powers or one specific power. Homelander's got an armada. He's got everything short of telekinesis on here, okay? Laser eyes, strength, speed, super durability, Superman, right? The only one I think who comes close in terms of versatility, maybe Stormfront, perhaps, but that's about it. And you're telling me in all the years that Vought's been experimenting on people, they couldn't replicate this. They couldn't replicate a being with similar strength, durability, or just more brute power? Homelander's a special brood, okay? Because Soldier Boy jizzed in a cup. They used that to create Homelander. So Homelander's already got genetics of Soldier Boy, plus being hit with another batch of Compound V as a baby in experimental trials, and was one of the few to get out alive. This dude is built different, literally. But you're telling me Soldier Boy had no more kids? I find that hard to believe with all the shit this dude was doing in his prime, in his heyday. You're telling me they didn't take any more semen samples from him to create other beings? I feel like if you were remnants of a Nazi organization that wanted to create a master race, you would do more with Soldier Boy's genes. Gen V has introduced something. Something that may explain a little bit of this. Something called the Odessa Project. Project Odessa was a top-secret Vought/Godolkin University initiative. It was a joint thing to create more powerful and obedient supes, potentially a new Homelander. They wanted to engineer god-tier superheroes. Essentially, what they created was like mutant, half-breed, failed, immaculate conception attempts. A lot of these test subjects died. But only 2 came out alive, and it was Homelander and Mary Moreau from Gen V. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but fuck it, whatever. And she is a very powerful being in her own right, and this kind of explains it. She's got strength and durability of a supe, but she's also got the bloodletting powers. She can do this shit. She can form blood clots in your head, blow your head off, all this stuff. She can literally resurrect people, going into the minuscule atomic-sized properties of blood. And then she can kill you very easily too. She's literally got life and death in her hands. She's borderline a god, for fuck's sake. That's a very powerful being. It almost seems like she's potentially a stronger Victoria Newman. She might actually be stronger because I've never seen Victoria Newman do the kind of shit she's done either. They're both similar in their bloodletting abilities, but considering the fact that she's the only other kid that was able to survive the experiments as a child along with Homelander, it does seem that she could be the only one with some level of power to match up. Maybe. Perhaps. Who knows? Both of them are super babies, y'all. So, you had to ask yourself, who's stronger? Obviously, it's fucking Homelander. I think Homelander would knock her head off in a fight. He'd knock it into orbit. He has way more destructive powers, physically, and he's faster. Is it possible that she could do something to him if she wasn't afraid of getting lit up by him? Yes. But I do think by the time she tries to use most of her bloodletting powers, she'd be cut in half with a laser. Now, granted, his laser didn't really kill her when he shot it at her. Now, you could say, okay, he wasn't shooting it at full strength and all that, but she's durable enough to survive some of his energy-based attacks. Which makes me think, okay, she'd probably lose a fight to him in general, but is there potential for her to be at a point where she could do damage to him? That's where the question comes into play. Now, there is also this dude. This little boy over here. This little baby with laser eyes. This seems to be a baby who's experimented on as a baby as well, may have been part of Project Odessa or a project like this, and could be powerful enough to take on Homelander. Who knows? I don't know if he's a Homelander replicant, because all this baby is shown to do is have laser eyes. Does he have durability? Is he like Ryan, where he has similar abilities, but doesn't have the genetic makeup of a Soldier Boy or a Homelander because he's not born from them? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why Homelander was a unique breed. But this baby was able to survive experiments as a child too. In the animated boys show or whatever, this baby is ordered to be killed by Vought. They deem her as a failed experiment. So she clearly didn't reach God status like they wanted her to. So I don't think she is on Homelander's level, because if she was, Vought would know it and would do a lot of things with her. But they didn't. They said, kill her. Kill her off clean when she was saved by this scientist. So if you're deemed as a failure by Vought, I'm going to assume that you're not God leveled like they wanted you to be. I truly think if they went in the right direction, this stupid ass show, he could have been the one, man. It should have been him. It's just so, I'm so salty about all this. But there is another. There is another Supe that could be the one. And a lot of you are going to get mad at me for saying this. I'm really sorry, but it has to be said. No one wants to hear this. Especially if you're like me and you're a Homelander fan, because I love Homelander. I think he's one of my favorite villains of all time, him and Soldier Boy. But there is a chance that there is one more character that they are building up to be the being that is strong enough to overpower Homelander. And it's not Soldier Boy, it's not Butcher. It may be Starlight. Don't leave! Don't leave! I need you to listen to me here, okay? I'm not a Starlight propagandist, right? I like Starlight. She's a good character, but I like Homelander more, so I wouldn't want to see her beat him in a fight, personally. However, I think we need to take an objective look at her powers, okay? Now, she's got light absorption, light mimicry powers, or whatever the fuck. And she can shoot light lasers at people. She shot a blast at Soldier Boy that knocked him back and did nothing to him, really, but still. She has some powers. She's strong, she's also durable, and she can fly, right? She's flying all the time now. In Season 4, it's shown that she's perfecting slowly the ability to fly up into the air. So, for that reason alone, a lot of fans are theorizing, okay, maybe she's one of the few beings that can meet Homelander, go toe-to-toe with him in the sky. Now, obviously, Homelander's way more powerful, strong, and durable than her, of course, so she would need something more than that. She can do things with her powers that if she utilized them as proper weapons, she could do a lot of shit, like blinding the fuck out of people, maybe burning people to crisps. Who knows? Maybe she shoves her arm into somebody and blows them up from the inside. Who fucking knows? But here's the thing. Here's one question, because most people agree, consensus, that Starlight only can absorb and use electrical energy when she's blasting people and getting stronger, right? We saw in her fight with Soldier Boy at the end of Season 3. Fucking Huey turned on all the lights and she, in a cheesy way, blasted Soldier Boy. I fucking hated that fight, by the way. Soldier Boy should have knocked them all out clean, but still. Starlight's pretty powerful with this, but is it only electrical energy she can absorb? That's the question, and that's a very important question. Because if she's able to absorb more energy, like the plasma from Stormfront, why wasn't she able to? It clearly indicates that there are some kind of lights and energy sources she can absorb. But at the same time, we have to understand, this is still Starlight who's discovering her powers. She's just learning now how to fly. She's maybe not as skilled with her powers as she could be. She hasn't had to be, right? Maybe she's still growing in her power and her skill, and she hasn't figured it out how to use any other energy sources. What if she was able to absorb, I don't know, power or energy that's not electric? Like solar energy. Oh yeah, a lot of people are like, Zaffy, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the worst take ever. You think she can absorb solar energy? The fuck, she's Superman now? I'm just saying. This has been theorized by fans of the show and the comic books a lot too. Some explained videos have talked about how Starlight could potentially be the most powerful if this is in fact true. Could she absorb the sun? Maybe all those days of training and flying has shown Starlight, wow, I'm able to get more powerful from flying this high up with all this sun on me. Could I beat somebody's ass? You think I'm lying, right? You think I'm being stupid, but you know that Starlight's probably going to beat somebody's ass in the finale in Season 5. They love Starlight. This is like one of their main characters. Of course they're going to make Starlight probably whoop Homelander's ass. How would that happen? There's only two ways it could happen. If she absorbs so much energy that she becomes insane, like absorbing the energy from an entire city or multiple cities, an entire grid, or from this, getting the power from the fucking sun and absorbing it, turning it into light energy, which enhances her durability. She can probably create a fucking protective exoskeleton of energy around her and shoot it at Homelander. Now, would they show this in the show? They do have, even though this is an expensive show, they'd have a limited budget. This ain't like an MCU flick. They can't show all this crazy CGI, right? I don't know. It's just a theory. It's just a theory. There's potential for her to be able to do this. In the comic books, I don't know what her strongest feat in the comics is, to be honest. I have no idea. All I'm saying is, if she absorbed the power of the sun, it's over. I do think Homelander's fucked. I do think he's getting wrecked. I do think that she could be a flying nuclear bomb waiting to happen. I'm sorry, by the way, Homelander was getting his nose brocked, and he was bleeding at the hands of Maeve. Let's not forget that. She stuck a metal stick in his ear and punched the shit out of him and made him bleed. Now, some could say, oh, he was weakened by Soldier Boy's beams or whatever the fuck. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Everyone in the entire room should have been weakened by that, but no. It didn't stop Maeve from kicking his ass, low-key. And yeah, he wasn't trying that hard against Maeve, but why was she able to make him bleed? I'm telling you, bro, if Starlight absorbs the power of an entire grid, it's over. She's making Homelander bleed. And a lot of people don't want to see this because, oh, fuck that'd be so lame, bro. They're gonna do Homelander like that. I'm just gonna be honest. There's a chance she could penetrate the Supe skin in a way that Homelander can't with his laser beams. There's a chance she could incinerate somebody with this power. And I think everyone needs to be very prepared for something like this to happen. So there's a chance that while Homelander is physically more powerful, durable than most of these people, easily, stronger than them, there's a chance that someone like Starlight, or even the main character from Gen V, could be potentially more powerful if they grow into it over time. Homelander's getting old. He's washed. He's at the end of his career. That's what he is. He's like John Jones right now. He might win some fights, but he's getting old as fuck. His last fight against Supe wasn't that impressive when it comes down to it. Homelander's washed. It's only a matter of time before he gets knocked the fuck out. Who knows? Maybe Starlight is his Tom Aspinall. UFC fans will get what I'm saying. I mean, if you're not a UFC fan, you have no idea what I'm referencing, but still. All I'm saying is, I don't know if Homelander is the most powerful being in the Supes world anymore. 2 seasons ago, I would have said, yeah, easily. Who else? Not even Soldier Boy is as powerful as him. In the fight against Soldier Boy needed Butcher's help to do anything to him. When they were one-on-one, he grabbed Soldier Boy by the neck, and Soldier Boy was struggling. He's like, oh, shit. Clearly, he's like an upgraded in terms of power version of Soldier Boy. But there's a chance that there's somebody far removed from him that could do it. And whether it's someone from Project Odessa, or it's someone like Starlight. All I'm saying is, let's be prepared for that reality. Who do you think is strong enough to beat Homelander? Maybe it is Butcher. Maybe Butcher's tumor powers will be able to... Maybe he can stuff the tentacles inside Homelander's body and rip his organs out. I feel like that's a pretty good way that you could kill Homelander too, if he allows it to happen, but Homelander could fly. That's the other thing. Which is why Starlight's the only one who might be able to match him. Be prepared. Be prepared for that reality, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. I hope The Boys Season 5 is good. It's been disappointing. But let's just hope it's good. Let's just be positive, alright? Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.